Alright guys, welcome back to the fish room, and if all goes to plan, when you're keeping African cichlids, they tend to look like this. Fins look good, coloration looks good, and obviously they all eat like pigs, dirtying up the tank just because that's what they do. However, sometimes it doesn't all go to plan, and fish from time to time can get sick. So in this video, we are looking at a treatment for a disease or an illness that people call Malawi Bloat. And it's pretty much a blockage in the fish's digestive tract, which then prevents them from eating and functioning normally. If your fish has ever had this, it'll get a really distended stomach, and it of course won't be able to eat because of that blockage. So in today's video, we're going to shed some light on it and look at what may work for you next time you have a fish suffering from this. So as you can see right here, this is the affected fish. He's in a 5.5 gallon quarantine tank underneath the 40 breeder, and the sponge filter I grabbed directly out of the 20 gallon long that has the Walter eye in. That's why it's only got one filter in right now instead of two, but within the 50% weekly water changes, everyone's doing fine. However, the Lwanda isn't doing great, and over the course of the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've tried a multitude of different techniques in order to try and help him out and basically rid him of the blockage that is Malawi Bloat. Temperature is a little bit lower than what I'd like, but I've not got any heaters right now, so he's going to have to do, and the temperature being at 74 has actually not been terrible for him at all. So here's a page looking at information on Malawi Bloat. And the first thing that you'll see, and this is the easiest method, is to try and feed them a pea, which can act as a mild laxative. However, if that doesn't work and the fish isn't eating, you can always try Epsom salt, which again acts as a laxative. And that's what I tried with the Lwanda. I tried giving him Epsom salt baths, I tried a few different things, and that didn't work. This is when I found this treatment with Clout on an African cichlid forum, and that's what I went with, and I've actually used this technique before on a deep water hap, and it worked that time. So that's what we ended up going with, and basically you're going to treat the tank at full strength on day 1, which is 1 tablet per 10 gallons, so I used half a tablet. You're then going to do no water change on the second day, but treat again with Clout, this time at half strength. Day 3, nothing. Day 4, an 80% water change, and then hopefully after that you're going to see some progressions in the fish, and maybe at that point they'll start eating. However, this Lwanda had a really bad case, and I actually didn't see him eat for a good solid 2 weeks, I would say, and I ended up having to do the entire treatment of Clout again after giving him probably about 3 or 4 days rest, doing constant water changes on him of 50% once every day. So that obviously wasn't ideal, and it did put him through a lot of stress, but the other option is him to simply die, and I quite clearly didn't want that, as he's just an awesome fish. So with the treatment done, we're gonna take him out of that little 5.5, and we are currently acclimating him back into the 125 gallon. Little bit of a drip acclimation, just got an airline tube in, run into the 125 gallon, and he'll be back in here with all these guys in probably about 35 minutes time, once this bucket's filled up a little more with him in there. And this is just getting him used to the temperature and getting him used to any fluctuation changes. And for the most part, I'm not too worried about putting him in the 125 with any of the other fish. The red empress has started to colour up a little more. The blue dolphin is obviously coloured up as well, and they would probably be the only two that I'd be worried about in terms of the hierarchy. But I think he's big enough to hold his own, and he'll be all good with the rest of the fish in there. The one fish I'm kind of worried about is the Lwanda that has started to show colour since he's been out of there. Might have to move him eventually, but we'll just have to see how it goes. He's just kind of in there just because I thought I'd basically do a little experiment on how fast he grows compared to the ones in the 55 gallon, and so far he's putting on a little bit more size, so volume of water is definitely helping. 20-25 minutes later, put a sponge filter in there just to keep it cycled and keep it underwater, and as you can see, he's acclimating all good, so probably fill that up a little bit more, and then it's time to put him in there. So there he is, he's back in the tank after 2-3 weeks. I definitely didn't think that would happen. And as you can see, he's doing pretty good. Telltale sign of when you know you've acclimated a fish decently is when he swims out of the net and doesn't just crash to the bottom of the tank, because I'm sure we've all done that from time to time. I remember when I first started the hobby, I used to do that a lot when I was moving fish tanks, and a lot of the time it's either a temperature shock or you know you've not acclimated them properly to the water they're going into. So really happy to see that, and he's plodding around pretty good for now. So let's come back to this tank tomorrow. I'm not going to feed him tonight, and then I'll feed him tomorrow, and hopefully he's taking food and he'll eat for us. Thanks a lot for watching this one, guys. Really appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment down below, and we'll see you on the next one.